Hey friends, it's Riley. Now that summer is finally here, it's a great time to work on and improve your skills for the upcoming season. I purposefully made this video so that you can do this literally anywhere, even from your very own backyard. Now, let's get into the video. Here are 4 ways you can DIY improve your tumbling this summer. First, hear me out, you can improve your basics. I remember being a young gymnast and wanting so badly to throw my back handsprings, but my coach kept making me work on my round off. I was so frustrated that I pouted and refused to tumble for the rest of the day, but it wasn't until years later that I realized the basics are the building blocks for the rest of tumbling skills. Think about it like this: if you have a really solid, beautiful back walkover, you're so much more likely to have the skill set, confidence, and technique to throw a good back handspring. One of the most important skills to perfect is a good round off. This is generally the starting skill for a running tumbling pass and generates all the power for the skills to come after. So as you work on your round off, really try to focus on reaching forward, pushing off the ground with force, clicking your feet together, and snapping your feet down to the ground. You should also know and be able to execute 2 different types of rebounds out of a round off. One that snaps with your feet slightly behind you and rebounds straight up. This is useful for connecting high flipping skills like a back tuck or a full. This next round off is kind of its opposite, so instead of bounding upward, you want your force out of it to draw you backwards. In order to do this, think about as you snap your feet down that you want them underneath you or even in front of you. This is crucial if you want to have a good round off back handspring connection or power out of your backwards tumbling. Next, also work on improving your strength. Tumbling is a full body workout, and the stronger you are, the more capable you will be at executing skills. So starting from your feet all the way up to your hands, here are some exercises that will help you have great tumbling. Let's start with ankles and calves. These are called calf raises, and the goal is to get your heels as high off the ground as possible. These are great for teaching you to push through your toes, which is useful in almost all tumbling. Think like hurdles, punches, and rebounds. If you can, challenge yourself to do 50 calf raises in a row with your feet together, then stand on one foot and do 25 on each side. Repeat this for 2 or 3 sets. Next, we're going to target the legs. These are called squat jumps. As you squat, think about keeping an upright chest, then explode upwards, extending your legs straight and push through your toes. These are useful for things like standing tumbling and back handsprings. Try to add these to your workout, doing 12 in a row for 2 to 3 sets. Now let's talk about strengthening your shoulders and your arms. If you've ever noticed, so many tumbling skills have at least one moment where they pass through a handstand shape. Obviously, this is a lot on our arms and our shoulders, so building up the strength to be able to hold a handstand is going to help you with a lot of your skills. Try to kick up against a wall and hold your handstand in a tight body position. Time yourself and try to hold as long as you can, working your way up to 30-second increments. I have a whole tutorial on what a proper handstand looks like and how to hold it longer, so go check that out. Next, let's talk about how you can work out your wrists. Like I mentioned when talking about round-offs earlier, in order to have good, powerful tumbling, you need to know how to push off the ground with your hands. A great exercise to practice this is to get in a plank and try plank hops. Keeping your arms and legs straight, first relax your shoulders, then pop yourself off the ground by extending your shoulders and pushing off your hands. Aim to try 10 of these in a row with 2 or 3 rounds. Another great way to improve your skills is to find ways to make them more difficult. For example, with round-offs, you can try them from kneeling, which forces you to generate more power and kick harder in order to make them all the way around. When you finally go back to regular round-offs, they'll feel so much more powerful and easy to do. Another thing you can do to make a skill more difficult is if you have a mat, you can start on a lower level and tumble up to a higher surface. I like this for standing back tucks, but you can honestly do any skill like handstand blocks, round-offs, back walkovers, front walkovers, you name it. Finally, another great thing to work on at home is to practice your body positions. First, let's start with lunge, talking about what a proper one looks like. Bring your arms up to cover your ears. Make sure that both your elbows and your back knee are fully locked out straight. Instead of in a neutral position, your head should actually look slightly forward and down. Your hands to your back foot should make a direct diagonal line. Finally, your front leg should be bent so that your knee goes directly over your ankle instead of too deep in a lunge where your knee would be over your toe. Now, let's go over bridge hold. Notice how when I first push up, I don't stay in this position, but I shift my weight forward so that my shoulder is over my wrist. Your legs can have a slight bend, but if your arms are bent, you may need to walk your feet in closer to your hands. Both my feet and my hands are not spread too far apart, but are at shoulder width. Most of my weight should be in my arms, so my legs should feel pretty light, and I should be able to shift and walk if I need to. If you are flexible enough, you may also want to practice a straight leg bridge. Next, let's discuss this super important shape called a hollow hold. In order to do this, round your shoulders so that they hover above the ground and lift your feet a couple of inches. Make sure your butt is squeezed and the part of your lower back that normally curves should be flat and pressing into the ground. This shape is really important for your snap downs and for your set and flipping skills like a layout. Next, let's talk about the inverse of this shape called Superman because, well, you kind of look like Superman flying through the air. Just like in hollow hold, everything in your body should be squeezed and tight and all of your joints should be locked out. Especially squeezing your back and your butt muscles are what help you achieve this shape. Last but not least, let's discuss candlestick. This is all about hip and toe drive to help you rotate in your flips. In order to get into this shape, you're gonna start rolling like a backward roll, but your arms are gonna come up by your ears and stay straight and flat on the floor. Your feet are gonna kick to the back wall diagonal, up and over your head. You're also going to tuck your butt under and pull your hips towards the back wall. To maintain this hold, make sure that you're not piking over but keeping a straight body and that your toes are way over your head and you're squeezing your butt. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this video was super helpful.